Okay, here we go with part 3 of 2-point perspective basics. In this one, I'm going to teach you how to do rows of forms. Once you've done split forms, these are very easy. It's the same concept. And I'm also going to teach you how to do some unusual forms if time permits. If not, we'll put them on part 4. Just one thing, you may hear my dog in the background. She is not happy because I'm not paying attention to her, and she's just going to have to deal with it, but she's going to sound pretty pitiful. I can't promise that she is fine, just quite spoiled. So I'm hoping this is lined up okay on your screen. I've been having some camera issues. If not, keep in mind that everything on the paper, let's get the light on, that'll help. Everything on the paper, like here, your horizon line is at a right angle to the side of the paper, okay? And all your verticals are indeed vertical, even if they don't show up like that. Okay, let's get started. We have our horizon line, we have our 2 vanishing points, and as with my other videos, I'll recommend that you watch part 1 and part 2 before you attempt this. You may be able to copy what I'm doing, but you won't have the basics you need to continue on your own without watching those first 2. So here goes. I'm going to start off above my horizon line. Just make sure I don't go up too high there. Make a little mark there and there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a cube at the top up here above my horizon line. Let's see. I really do know how to use this. I'm just trying to find the best way. Make sure that it is parallel and truly vertical. There we go. Sorry, I'm old, I'm retired. Sometimes I have a brain freeze. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. All right, there's my vertical line above my horizon line. And if you remember how to make a cube, we draw lines back to the vanishing point. And as long as it's lined up, remember, you do not have to draw the line all the way back, just as far as you need it. So I will draw them on this side. And it's going to look a little distorted because it is close to my vanishing point. All right. Now, because I'm making a row of cubes, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to line up on this side, line up my intersection, my little corner there with the vanishing point. But I'm going to draw it all the way back, okay? Do the same thing from the top. Line it up with my vanishing point. Going to draw it all the way back, okay? Those lines are going to be important. All right, I know how to end my form by drawing another horizontal line, vertical line. See, remember what I was saying about those brain freezes? All right, right there, another vertical line. I line it up, slide it back to make this side. And I'm going to get rid of my extras, just like that. Okay, so I've got the one side done. Now, before I start ending off this side, I'm actually going to put the bottom on it. And I know the bottom is made by using opposite points. So I'm going to start right here at this intersection, line it up with that right point, and again, I'm going to draw the line all the way back. Let me line that up there, like that. Okay? Now, this is correct. Occasionally, you will get a student, or you will be tempted yourself, to draw a square here and take the lines back. That's 1-point perspective. All right, you have to create these lines that go down to the left point as well. Very important. Okay, so now I'm going to start splitting this long form, and it's very easy to do. I start off by lining up my straight edge with the vertical line. I'm going to slide it back as far as I want it, keeping it vertical. Let me move this a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to draw my line right here, like that. Then I'm going to slide it over, and I'm going to draw a second line right here. Those are my split lines, just like that. 2 lines, both of them are vertical. Now, again, a lot of people think, well, I need a bottom to this one, so I just need to draw a line like this. Remember, those lines aren't ending at the point, so starting at that corner, lining it up with my left point, draw it like that. So here is 1 cube. All right. Well, I've got this one too. So how do I finish this cube off? First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of this line here because that's confusing. And I'm going to get rid of this line here because that's confusing to me. All right. Now, when I look at this visually, I can see I probably need another one of these lines right here. So I go right here. And take it down like that. Then I can erase the lines that connect between the two. Now, don't get put off. This is not hard. All I'm doing here is making another cube. All right, it's just overlapped by this one. So I've got this horizontal line. Let's make another one. I have to lift that up because I'm fighting with a piece of masking tape that's holding down my paper. As I always say, my videos are not flashy and definitely not professional. So, okay, there's my vertical line for the next cube. Then I'm going to create the bottom by doing another line just like this. Okay, so here's the bottom of the second cube, and there's the side. Looking here and here, you can tell something's missing. Well, you kind of have to visualize what this would look like here if this cube was not in front of it. So I know I need a line here, and I know I need a line here. Well, this line goes to the vanishing point. So let's put that in. All right. This is where some people get tripped up. This line does not go to a vanishing point because you've already got this one and you've already got that one using your points. So this line is actually a repeat of this vertical. So it's very tiny, but you still want to line it up. Make sure it is vertical and you put it in there. Okay, so this area in here that you've created is that side of the cube, this side. All right, let's go ahead and repeat that because, again, the more you do it, better you're going to get. All right, so let's turn it that way so I don't have to fight with the tape anymore. All right, vertical line right here, and notice I'm keeping it between these 2 lines here. I'm not going to go all the way down. For the bottom part, I know I need to go to the vanishing point. You have to be careful because these are going to get a little skinnier as they're getting closer to your horizon line. Okay, so I'll put that in as well. Get rid of my dividing lines. There and there, and right there. All right, I'm going to decide how far I want this cube to go. I think I'm just going to go right there. Looks about good. I draw this side. I don't cross the line, I just stay right there. Use my vanishing point on this side. Like that. Okay, so hopefully you're still with me. And I am going to go ahead and darken this line that's already drawn because I just looked at the screen and that's a little difficult to see. Okay, so I finished this cube the same way I did this one. Left vanishing point and vertical. Line that up just right. Okay, and there you go. Now you can continue doing that all the way down the line, and you can also do it with pyramids. You learned how to do a pyramid in part 2 of the series, and it's the same thing. You just lining them up, although with the pyramids the bottom of the pyramid would be lined up. It's really, again, a lot of the same steps over and over. Okay, we're going to do that though. Let's do a pyramid. I can't say that and then not have us do it. We'll do one below the horizon line, which is going to look a little different. Remember, with a pyramid you start with your vertical and you create the bottom of the pyramid first by using the vanishing points on both sides. And on this side I am going to take it all the way back because my row is going to go that way. Alright, remember, to finish my pyramid I break the rules with a diagonal. I'm going to come up here and give myself a little point there so I know exactly where I want to put it. Alright, so there is my pyramid. Alright, I want to do a second one. So, same thing. I move up here. I do a vertical line. Now, if you really want them in a row, you can do this. Draw a very light line from the point, so you know how tall to make your horizontal line. Then I create the bottom of it by using my vanishing points. I already have this one here, so I'm going to make myself a little mark. I break the rules to make my diagonal. And there you go. Alright, and you would just continue that all the way up the line. And then put my diagonals in. And I will tell you, the best way to learn this is just keep practicing. Okay, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. You'll be able to fill your paper. You can overlap your forms once you have a good sense of how to draw them. One of my colleagues used to have his high school students fill a paper with 200 forms once they learned how to do it. And it took them a while to figure out that they could not do it without overlapping. And so they learned how to do that. Again, very, very good practice. Challenges your brain. Okay, so there are my rows. I'm going to quickly do unusual forms. I don't know how much call you would have for this, but with an unusual form, you don't necessarily have a horizontal corner. I'm going to do this. This is just a strange little form. My students liked to do this. Then they would take it and they would split it and they would make rows of them and just have a good time with it. Okay, so here's my form, or excuse me, here's my corner. Just started with that. And then I follow the same rules in that I'm going back to the vanishing point. So let's do it from the top as we would a cube. Okay, it's lined up with my right point. This one's lined up with my left point, like that. I'm going to also do it from the bottom. Line up and line up. Okay, so there we are. So far, this has gotten really dirty. Sorry, makes me a little crazy. All right, I'm going to do the top of this like a cube because I know how to do that by using the opposite points. Then I've got to figure out how to end this off. Okay, I can't end it off just like that because that doesn't match. It's a cube end to this unusual form. So what I do is I go into what I call the inside corners, this one and this one. If I go ahead and line those up with their vanishing point on their side, this right one here and this right one here, like that, and then I do the left side, just like that. Okay, that gives me some corners here. Now all I have to do is end this exactly like each segment, and I do one little segment at a time. Line it up, lining it up from here to here, slide it without turning it too much, without turning it at all really, and I do the same line there. So whatever line I draw here, drawing over there as well. So let's go, here's our next line segment, here and here. I line it up, slide it back. And as I said, the trick is to do one segment at a time. We're going to do this one, line it up, and slide it. Okay, there's that side. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. I go to my line that I drew, that segment, repeat it back here. Here's this one. I will repeat it back here. And occasionally you're going to get a situation where you have it angled correctly, but it might not be long enough. Or it might be too long. Let's do this. I'll give you an example in case you run across this, what not to do. Let's say I drew that line that long. I'm not going to end it off by going here. That's incorrect because the line is supposed to be parallel with this one. I apologize if it's not focusing the way it should be. That looks a little odd. Of course, it might be my eyes. There you go. Get rid of your extra lines. There you go. Let me hit the focus, see if that gets better. There you go. If you had any trouble with that last one because of the focus, let me know, and I'll try to answer your questions. I don't always look at the screen when I'm doing the video, so I don't always notice that. All right, folks, there you go. Part 3. And so far you've learned to do pyramids, you've learned how to split forms, and now you've learned how to do rows, and you learned how to do unusual forms. All right, get ready for part 4.